Regret often hits too late. Separations are always painful and never really understandable rationally. Even if there were signs that were even halfway recognizable, the final step is always like a stab in the heart. Women then often look for the blame in themselves. They mull it over for days and nights when they might have behaved wrongly, when they put the relationship at risk. Self doubt, which has already begun to bubble up in them before or during the relationship, gets the upper hand and has free rein to sound as a critical inner voice. The fact is, however, that there are always two people in a relationship and in a breakup. There are countless reasons why he or she was not the perfect match. Because one thing is certain: if they had been the partner we were meant to be with, we would still be happy with them. When men end partnerships, it happens in very different ways. Some write a terse WhatsApp or text message, still others leave us a voicemail or simply pack up their things without a word when we're not at home. The majority begin by acting strangely dismissive and distant. Sometimes, they simply behave so badly that the better half has no choice but to initiate the breakup, so men leave their partners in very different ways. With most of them, however, sooner or later, they regret it. This late realization can be summarized in 5 points presented in today's video. What men regret late when they can no longer save a relationship. If you like our videos, feel free to support us with a thumbs up, subscribe, activate the little bell, and stay tuned for the videos we upload for you daily. Number 1. Expecting too much. As we all know, there are no perfect people, only perfect intentions. Men, especially those who are used to always giving 200% professionally, also expect the same from their relationships. But even the dream woman sometimes has a bad day, sometimes even has a cold, or, much worse, occasionally wants to have time for herself or for her girlfriends. Those who enter relationships with a dinosaur mentality and think that female partners still have to subordinate themselves to their wishes have to expect the same fate on this earth as the extinct reptile giants. For some men, it is only after the breakup that it dawns on them that their sense of entitlement may have been too high. All the many little things that they found annoying and negative during the relationship often seem completely irrelevant to them a certain time after the breakup. This could have to do with later insight or with a new partner who thinks nothing of fulfilling any demands. Number 2. Wrong priorities. Relationship mistake number 1 on the male side: everything else and everyone else was more important than the partner. Job, friends, hobbies, sports, or various obligations always came before the relationship. Some men even find it extremely difficult to separate themselves from their smartphone, laptop, or PlayStation for 5 minutes in order to have a halfway serious conversation among adults. In this day and age, it may be difficult to focus on your partnership because of all the social obligations, but it's basically a decision every man can make for himself. Job, okay, that can't always be moved to the back burner, but everything else can very well be put aside for a moment in favor of the relationship. Unfortunately, many men only realize this when it's too late. The only thing they can do then is to learn from it in order to fare better in the future. Number 3. Take everything for granted. According to an old but still valid saying, as we all know, you don't know what you have until it's gone. All the little things that women come up with and spend a lot of time and energy on to make men happy are suddenly yesterday's news. Most women, even in the progressive 21st century, still love to take care of their men and create a comfortable place for them to live. Unlike men, women almost always give their love lives top priority. Those who were always used to being number 1 in their partner's life will either feel very lonely and unloved after the breakup, or will miss this feeling quite a bit in the presence of other women. Number 4. Started strong, slowed down. When men want to win a woman over, they often pull out all the stops romance has to offer. They are attentive, generous, loving, and give their beloved the feeling of being the most important thing in the world. That this commitment diminishes over time is quite normal to a certain extent. Everyday life determines every relationship at some point, and the butterflies in the stomach come to land. But many men then make the mistake of completely, mentally, and emotionally disengaging from the relationship and no longer feel responsible for anything. If at the beginning they gave everything, it's just a matter of time before it's too much to ask him to clear away his own dishes or to somehow get excited about communal life. In retrospect, most men realize where it would have taken more motivation and action, things they brought to the gym or on the downhill course instead of to the relationship. Number 5, too little understanding. Empathy and compassion are two essential pillars in a relationship as well. Even the most conservative man should have realized by now that women and men tick differently and may actually come from two different planets. The man does not have to get a graduate degree in love as soon as he enters a relationship, but a little attention and readiness to talk to his sweetheart should be the minimum investment. Sometimes, a strong hug is enough to bring everything back into balance. If your man can't even do that, it could be a clear signal to you to take these insights to heart. Today's conclusion: self-knowledge from the rearview mirror. It would be wrong, of course, to lump all men together. Some learn from their mistakes and strive to improve their future relationships. After all, it's a hard consolation when a man realizes that he did a lot wrong and contributed too little to the love they shared. Many men decide after a separation to spin things in the much more comfortable victim role. They then explain to their future love interests that their ex simply did not understand them. Sadly, the game, which in truth shouldn't be a game at all, then starts all over again. If you find a partner who expresses discontent with most things, you can be sure it will extend to the relationship in the long term as well. Self-awareness is not everyone's cup of tea, as we all know. The abandoned women, on the other hand, after an appropriate mourning period, almost always emerge from relationships stronger and smarter, even if you do not know exactly which partner is right for you. At least you now know which one was certainly wrong. That's it for today.
Thanks for watching. Did you find this information helpful? Do you have experience with it? We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts. For more resources about mental health, self-improvement, and psychology, visit our website. You'll find the link in the video description where you can also connect with us on social media and sign up for our email list. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful day.